Hello there, this is Nightline and I am Nadia. Azmi. The headlines. Do not fan racial flames, says Prime Minister in stern warning. And Malaysia faces increasing cybersecurity threats. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has issued a stern warning against any attempts to fan racial or religious sentiments in the country, saying the government will not tolerate such actions. He also stressed that the government is firm in defending the federal constitution principle of upholding Islam as the religion of the Federation and giving space and freedom for other religions to be practiced.
Saya telah mengarahkan seluruh pasukan keselamatan untuk waspada kerana orang yang desperate atau rasa tercabar akan menggunakan sentimen ini dan rakyat yang miskin akan diupah untuk menimbulkan apa-apa juga kekacauan.
Datuk Seri Anwar added that the cabinet is united in this issue to ensure that peace and harmony among all races is defended. He also said that issues that touch on religious and racial sensitivities must be resolved amicably to prevent misunderstandings and prejudice. On Monday, Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh lodged a police report through her aide against blogger Badrul Hisham Shaharin, better known as Chegibot, for allegedly linking her ministry's Jom Ziarah program to Christian evangelism in a post online. According to a poster promoting the program, non-Christian Malaysians were invited to join a visit to a church in Klang, Selangor to provide educational exposure to youth about Christianity. Yeoh had stressed no Muslim youths were involved in the program. On another matter, Datuk Seri Anwar said the Finance Ministry has approved an additional allocation of 150 million ringgit, which has been expedited for post-flood operations in Johor. The Prime Minister said the Cabinet is giving priority to post-flood efforts and he has directed all government machinery to focus on helping the victims.
Saya ingin juga menyeru semua rakan-rakan daripada NGO, daripada universiti-universiti dan daripada sukarelawan dari jabatan kerajaan juga untuk turun kalau boleh dalam tempoh singkat ini untuk membantu bagi rakan-rakan dan keluarga yang telah pun dianggap sebagai pasca banjir ini, membantu mereka kerana beban tanggungjawab mereka itu sangat besar untuk dikendali oleh jentera yang ada di Johor.
Datuk Seri Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, said this at a press conference after chairing the cabinet meeting in Putrajaya on Friday. He said he had also asked Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari to provide volunteers for the post-flood relief work in Johor. He noted that Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had gone to the state to identify specific flood-related projects, adding that 16,167 heads of households affected by the floods had also been given cash aid of 1,000 ringgit each. On Thursday, Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, urged the federal government to provide a special allocation for the state to repair public infrastructure and property which were damaged in the floods. The rulers said many areas, especially in Batu Pahat, had not yet fully recovered from the floods, which hit the state on February 28th. A total of 82,831 victims were moved to temporary relief centres (PPS) in Johor during the floods, and 26,879 evacuees were still at 102 PPS in the state. Police have also issued a warning of stern action against anyone found to be making remarks that could jeopardize national security on the basis of race or religion. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Akril Sani Abdullah Sani said the situation is currently under control. Nevertheless, he expressed commitment to ensuring continuous law enforcement to ensure safety remains guaranteed. In a statement on Friday, he said police are closely monitoring the current security situation and will take decisive and uncompromising action against any party found to be making religious or racial sensitive statements that endanger national security and public order. He also asked the public to refrain from making statements that could affect racial harmony or cause public anxiety. The top cop also urged anyone with information on such acts to channel it to the nearest police stations for further action. Cybersecurity threats in Malaysia have recently been increasing in terms of frequency and severity of attacks. Deputy Communications and Digital Minister Teo Ni Ching said last year alone, the country experienced a number of serious cyber attacks, including ransomware attacks, cyber espionage attempts, data leaks, and cyber scams.
Last year alone, we recorded as 4,741 cases. Last year, that is fraud cases. And this year alone, from January until February, CSM Cybersecurity Malaysia recorded 456 fraud cases.
Theo said this after launching #BeCybersmart, a cybersecurity campaign, and Protect 360, an all-in-one network security solution application in Sepang on Friday. She added that cyber attacks can have very damaging consequences for individuals, businesses and governments alike, ranging from financial losses to personal information breaches and even disruption of essential services. She revealed that the National Scam Response Centre, NSRC, established in October last year as a command centre to coordinate rapid response for online financial scams, had also received a total of 3,482 genuine calls, recording losses of 27 million ringgit for January and February this year alone. Theo also said the unity government recognised the critical significance of cybersecurity and cybercrime and was looking to implement multiple initiatives people and national security. This commitment is reflected in the 2023 budget, where 10 million ringgit was allocated to the NSRC to upgrade its equipment and start a campaign to raise awareness as well as promote its 997 hotline.
The takaful industry. What are the key drivers of growth? Also, what challenges are takaful operators expecting to face in 2023? I'm Anita Wu.
And I'm Norazman Zainal of Takaful Malaysia. Join us on Money Matters.
This Saturday, 5 p.m. only on TV3.
The Higher Education Ministry is working on guidelines on the use of the artificial intelligence-driven ChatGPT. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin, said on Friday that the generative AI tool and others like it will be beneficial if adopted in the learning process. Speaking to online portal Free Malaysia Today, he said that the ministry has no plans to regulate the use of the technology so far. However, it needed to also ensure that the learning process will not be taken over by AI tools. Capable of producing college-level essays in seconds, ChatGPT's launch last November has been met with both enthusiasm and concern by members of Malaysia's academia. Its accurate and thorough responses are almost indistinguishable from human written text, leading to fears it could be used for plagiarism and cheating. Kuala Lumpur Hospital HKL, the busiest and largest government hospital, will be allocated 1 million ringgit to improve its equipment and services. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa acknowledged that the amount was insufficient. However, the allocation will be increased from time to time based on the hospital's needs.
Sebenarnya HKL ni memerlukan lebih daripada 1 juta, tapi buat masa sekarang kita akan luluskan 1 juta dan ini adalah adalah untuk grant yang kita berikan untuk aset inventory HKL.
She also said the government will provide a special allocation for HKL to digitize its patients' records, as the hospital handles more than 16,000 patient records manually every day. The minister pointed out that the move would help HKL to better manage the patients and their medical records, but did not elaborate further on the allocation. Presently, HKL, which celebrates its 153rd anniversary this year, accommodates about 50,000 patients at its wards annually. Protests erupt in France over Macron's retirement age push. News from the foreign front when we return. intensified protests and accusations of anti-democratic behaviour after pushing through a contentious pension reform without a parliamentary vote. The pension overhaul raises France's retirement age by 2 years to 64, a change which has met strong resistance across the country. The Senate had adopted the bill on Thursday, but reluctance by right-wing opposition MPs in the National Assembly to side with Macron meant the government faced defeat in the lower house. Thousands of people came out on the streets of Paris and other French cities to reject the move on Thursday, with some protesters clashing with police. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin meanwhile said so far some 310 people had been arrested by police. Unions in the meantime vowed to maintain their opposition to the pension changes, with the General Confederation of Labour announcing another day of strikes and demonstrations being planned for March 23rd. Over in Pakistan, Imran Khan is set to arrive at the High Court in the eastern city of Lahore on Friday to support a plea he made to halt a police operation to arrest him for failing to attend a hearing. It was understood that the former Pakistani Prime Minister is seeking protective bail against the cases filed against him in Lahore and capital Islamabad. So far, 4 new cases have been registered in Lahore against the 70-year-old after his supporters created blockades when police came to arrest him. The order to arrest Imran came after the former cricket star was accused of selling state gifts given to him when he was the Prime Minister from 2018 to 2022. Imran, however, denied the charges and filed a plea on Friday to suspend the arrest warrant in the case. Over in India, at least 8 people were killed and 11 others injured after the roof of a potato cold storage building collapsed in Sambal on Thursday. According to authorities, the incident occurred at about 11:30 a.m. local time in the Chandausi area of Sambal city in Uttar Pradesh when the roof of the already dilapidated building collapsed, leaving countless victims trapped underneath. So far, 4 suspects, including the 2 owners of the building, have been detained in connection to the incident. The cause of the collapse, however, can only be determined once debris is removed from the basement of the building. Currently, rescue operations by the National Disaster Response Force are still ongoing, as many victims are still suspected to be trapped under the debris. An Israeli army raid has killed at least 4 Palestinians, including a teenager, in the occupied West Bank city of Jenin. Officials said Thursday's raid, the latest since Israel intensified such operations in the West Bank last year, was carried out by undercover Israeli forces who broke into downtown Jenin. The Palestinian Health Ministry identified 3 of the dead as Yusuf Shrim, 29, Nidal Kazim, 28, and Omar Awadin, 16. The identity of the 4th person was not immediately known, and at least another 20 Palestinians were wounded by the gunfire, 4 of them seriously. The raid came a day after the Palestinian Authority had said that it would participate in a security meeting with Israel in Egypt's Red Sea resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh on March 19. Still to come, Selangor suffers first league defeat. 2023 All England Open. Lee Zijia has made it to the semi-finals after defeating Japan's world number 6, Kodai Naraoka. The independent men's singles shuttler defeated Naraoka 21-9, 10-21, 21-13 in a three-game thriller in Birmingham late Friday. After facing criticism for failing to get past the second round in 4 consecutive tournaments, the 24-year-old started off well at the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, beating Naraoka 21-9. The world number 6 Japanese, who stunned Zijia in the first round of the season opening Malaysia Open, bounced back to secure the second set 21-10. Zijia, the 2021 All England champion, then took an early lead in the decider to win 21-13 after a 67-minute battle. World number 4 Zijia will next face Shi Yuqi of China, who easily defeated compatriot Wang Hongyang 21-9, 21-16.
Ayo semarakkan sokongan anda untuk Harimau Malaya. Siri persahabatan antarabangsa. Secara langsung hanya di TV9 dan Astro saluran 149.
On to football, the 2023 Super League. 4 matches were played on Friday night. Despite fighting valiantly, Penang FC suffered a 2-5 defeat at the hands of Sabah FC. Kedah Darul Aman FC claimed a 3-0 win over Kuching City FC, while Kelantan FC were held to a 2-2 draw by Kuala Lumpur City FC. At the MBPJ Stadium, hosts Selangor recorded their first defeat of the season after they were thrashed 4-0 by defending champions Johor Darul Takzim. The visitors' goals came in the second half, with Juan Muniz breaking the deadlock in the 55th minute. Diogo doubled the advantage 11 minutes later, before Fernando Forestieri made it 3-0 in the 77th minute. The Italian forward put the icing on the cake for JDT as he scored the 4th 8 minutes from time for a convincing 4-0 win. The win consolidated JDT's position at the top of the standings with 15 points from 5 matches, 2 points above Sabah FC. On to tennis now, the 2023 BNP Paribas Open. World number 2 Carlos Alcaraz is through to his second consecutive semi-final after beating Felix Auger-Aliassime 6-4, 6-4 in exactly 2 hours in the quarterfinals. The win was Alcaraz's first victory over the Canadian in 4 encounters. Alcaraz was the aggressor as Auger-Aliassime saved 4 break points in Game 5, but the top seed was not to be denied as he got the job done at the 5th time of asking. Alcaraz will next play Italy's Jannik Sinner in the semi-finals. Earlier, Sinner became the first Italian man to reach the semi-finals in the game's 47-year history after beating defending champion Taylor Fritz 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 during the quarterfinals. In the 2 hours and 17 minutes match, Sinner gave back an immediate break in the deciding set, but he recovered for another break at 4-4. His desert success has lifted him 2 places to number 11 in the Pepperstone ATP Live rankings, 1 place behind Fritz, who will fall at least 5 places to number 10 on Monday. In the women's category, world number 1 Iga Swiatek's campaign to defend her title continued after she booked her place in the Final 4. The Pole cruised past Sorana Cristea of Romania in the quarterfinals of Thursday, defeating her 6-2, 6-3 in 1 hour and 23 minutes. Swiatek will face reigning Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina in Friday's semi-final. Earlier, Rybakina advanced to the semis after defeating Karolina Muchova in 3 sets. The number 10 seed needed 2 hours and 45 minutes before sealing up a 7-6-4, 2-6, 6-4 victory and guarantee her first Final Four appearance in a WTA Tour 1000 event. Before this, Rybakina's best result at the tournament was reaching the quarterfinals in 2022. 3 men held over assault at restaurant. This and more from the local front after this breather.
And it's a wrap.
Guys, hungry lah.
Jom makan?
Jom.
An individual known as Datuk Roy, who is suspected to be the mastermind behind the Jana Wibawa scandal, was remanded again on Friday, this time by the Putrajaya Magistrates Court to assist a probe involving the program. Magistrate Irza Zulaika Rohanuddin granted the 4-day remand until March 20th, following an application by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. The Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court previously granted a 3-day remand order against Datuk Roy from Tuesday. It was reported on Monday that the 54-year-old suspect was nabbed by the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya at 3 p.m. after he went there to have his statement taken. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki confirmed that the graftbuster also arrested 4 people, including one of its officers and a woman, on March 9th. The suspects, aged between 40 and 50, were detained for allegedly soliciting and accepting bribes worth 400,000 ringgit to halt an investigation into the Jana Wibawa case. The Kanga Magistrates Court on Friday ordered a police lance corporal charged with murdering his pregnant wife to undergo psychiatric evaluation at hospital. Magistrate Ana Rosana Muhammad Noor made the decision after allowing an application by the prosecution in accordance with Section 342 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Earlier, 27-year-old Muhammad Nizar Manhasim only nodded when the charge was read out to him. He was charged with killing 26-year-old Safsu Farnisha Saleh at Kampung Pendang Paru, Simpang 4 on March 5th. The offence under the Penal Code provides for the mandatory death penalty if convicted. The court fixed April 14th for remention pending the psychiatric report. It was alleged that the accused shot dead Safsu Farnisha, who was 5 months pregnant with their first child, in the master bedroom of their home. The media reported that he fired more than 5 shots at his wife at close range, killing her instantly. Arrested over an assault on a nasi kandar restaurant worker at the eatery in Cyberjaya on Thursday. A footage of the incident also went viral on social media. Sepang Police Chief Wan Kamarul Azran Wan Yusof said the victim was believed to have been attacked for allegedly reprimanding one of the men for his unsanitary behaviour. The trio, aged between 50 and 51, are being investigated under the Penal Code for causing injuries and criminal intimidation. Checks revealed 2 of the suspects had previous criminal records for crime and drug-related offences. In the 7:30 p.m. incident, the 3 men who went to the restaurant to eat were believed to have beaten the staff after he had asked one of them not to use his hand to pick up food from the containers. The viral video also showed 2 of the suspects who were allegedly drunk at that time, damaging the restaurant equipment, plates and utensils. It was understood that many of the dishes were also contaminated and had to be thrown away. One of the 3 suspects has been remanded until Sunday, and police will submit a remand application for the other 2 on Saturday. The Butterworth Sessions Court on Friday sentenced 2 United Kingdom UK citizens to 6 months in jail and a fine of 100,000 ringgit each for deceiving 2 individuals through an online international investment scam. Judge Zul Hazmi Abdullah meted out the punishment on 48-year-old Lloyd George Badwell and 46-year-old Roger Hoi Wing Wu after they pleaded guilty to 2 selected charges read to them. The court ordered the 2 men to serve their prison sentence from the day of their arrest on February 21st. Both accused, along with another man who is still at large, Jacob Yazdi, were charged with cheating 2 Austrians into handing over 50,000 ringgit after promising the victims big profits from short-term investments via the purchase of shares of a non-existent company. They committed the scam at Island Plaza Tower, Jalan Tanjung Tokong on December 16, 2022 and January 5th this year. The offence under the Penal Code provides for a maximum jail term of 5 years or fine or both upon conviction. The 2 men were part of an international investment scam syndicate that was busted in Op Tropicana by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC, which raided 24 locations around Kuala Lumpur and Pulau Pinang. And that wraps up Nightline this time around. But before we leave, let's take a look as hundreds of spectators watch former Australian professional surfer Blake Johnston break the world record for the longest surfing session in Sydney on Friday morning. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and stay safe.